Hello, my name is Alexis Brian Ambreeze, and I'll be discussing the literature review I have recently done on safety and humanity in autonomous vehicles. The 5 sections in my literature review include the introduction, the background, the review methodology, the thematic synthesis, and the conclusion. In the introduction, I'll state the interest in research topic and my problem statement. And this is a quote by Caseta et al. In one of the research papers, and it mentions how the behavioral difference between humans and AI can affect the driving rules on the road. And so this is important when conducting a literature review as it'll impact the safety and the user experience. Background, I'll talk briefly about the summary of the literature review of the topic of autonomous vehicle technology. So my problem statement is to review research in AVs and specifically how it impacts safety and user experience. And it is important as safety as an ADS, an autonomous driving system, may or may not be able to trigger the car to brake and stop when faced with a potential collision. And as for the user experience, users, they want to feel comfortable when driving an AV, and pedestrians want to feel comfortable when they see a autonomous vehicle on the road. And specifically, let's talk about how this table relates to safety. This table shows that sometimes on the road, the car is unable to activate the autonomous driving system, and this can be risky as the driver will need to take over. And if they're not feeling comfortable in the car, they might make mistakes. And in this illustration of the user experience in the research, this is a future technology showing a augmented reality user interface of the autonomous driving system's information presented to the user driving the vehicle, which will hopefully lower distraction and improve the driving abilities. And in this section, I'll talk about the review methodology of how I collected the research and how I segmented the research into themes. Majority of the papers were published in 2022 and 2023, and 4 weeks were spent collecting, reviewing, and collecting the research. The themes were segmented as such, and then related to how it impacts safety and user experience in autonomous vehicles. In this section, I'll talk about the summary and findings of the research based on different themes. So here's a brief description of the themes that I discovered. There are pure and theoretical approaches to designing AV systems. There are behavioral studies of user experiences in AVs, and then there's discussion of image to video monocular 3D object detection in AVs. So there are papers that cover theoretically how to design the autonomous driving systems, how to develop the algorithms to detect objects, and research on the users driving the autonomous vehicles. And here's a summary of the themes and their findings. So it's important to know the type of information the users require to make context-adaptive user interfaces, and there are design spaces that can help drivers make better decisions. There's algorithms that detect objects, and it's beneficial to look at video algorithms that use videos as input instead of images, and to detect vulnerable road users. And then there's behavioral studies that show that it's better to have studies that are based in real life scenarios versus simulations, as simulations can have errors due to data collection issues. Finally, as for the conclusion, this is a personal statement of the utility of this literature review. What's next? This literature review is a brief review of 10 relatively recent research papers, in the field of autonomous vehicles. So these themes can be expanded and include further research. That'll be all. Thank you.